Welcome back to Radio. Webster, Tarpley reporting from Washington, D.C. Now, we want to go to Athens just a minute and get a direct report. Let me just set the stage a little bit. The London Daily Telegraph, Ambrose Evans Pritchard, reported last Sunday, right after the successful no vote had won the Greek referendum, which was a great international event, that there was a more radical force inside Syriza that wanted to seize control of the Bank of Greece, use the physical capability that they have with the plates and the printing presses to print 20 euro notes that would be real euros, not funny money, and they would justify this with the emergency clauses of the Lisbon Treaty, which apparently say that if Frankfurt doesn't answer, you can go ahead and do it yourself, and at the same time take that to the European Court and also impugn Draghi for dereliction of duty. And the story then was that Varoufakis was more in favor of a California 2008 IOU system, which I believe was done under Governor Schwarzenegger, unless I'm very much mistaken. So that would have been another way to do it. And that, of course, was then followed by the unexpected resignation of Varoufakis. So there's a debate inside Syriza, and right now as we speak, there's still, I believe, still a debate in the European Parliament. The international media say the left platform, that is the left wing of Syriza, has now, by a big majority, said they will support Syriza. There are 5 people who are going to vote against it, but it looks like it's going to go through. So let's get the background on all of that from Michael Chiotinis in Athens. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, Dr. Tarpley.
Go right ahead.
You see, the funny thing is that this thing about printing 20s and getting control of the central bank, of the Bank of Greece, was never reported nowhere in the Greek media. The only thing that we heard on this is that Varoufakis was going to use the option of the IOUs for a short period of time, up until, I don't know, just to keep negotiations going without blackmail. And we also heard that Varoufakis was the one that wanted to use legal action against the European Central Bank. That's all that was reported. So I don't know about any of these.
Well, let me just, for our listeners, right, this was the London Daily Telegraph, the London Guardian, the Wall Street Journal, all had some version of the story, but the Varoufakis part of it could easily be that thing about going to the European Court. Draghi is derelict because he's not providing liquidity, and you could then use the emergency clauses of the Treaty of Lisbon, right, some years back, and that would be a state of emergency, and you could begin to print liquidity. Like suppose the Russians took over Frankfurt, right? What would you do?
Yes.
You'd have to print, right?
Yes, of course. But that would take time. The legal actions would require time, and liquidity was running out, so he had to use some kind of liquidity. So maybe that's where the IOUs come in. But the thing is that this route was shown to be the road to towards a Grexit. So this was stopped on grounds of being towards the path of a Grexit, which Syriza is committed not to go to. Syriza is committed. This government is committed to the euro. So that's all I know on this.
Okay. Can you tell us something about the factional alignments inside Syriza, what they represent, or is it according to the lineage of these groups, or is it regional or ideological? What's going on in there?
Syriza, from the start, was up until when it was electorally 4%. It was a coalition of small parties, small groups, small leftist groups. Some of them communists, other socialists, other moderate centrists. All these components came in to form this coalition, and in order to unite the left in a way. Right now, inside the parliamentary group of Syriza, the communists, these small parties that will oppose Tsipras's plan for an agreement are very small numbers, maybe 2 or 3 or 4. And I think the left platform, which is the actual opposition inside Syriza, is going to oppose inside Syriza. It's going to express its opposition inside Syriza, but in the end, it's going to vote for the agreement and support this government because it's a de facto vote of confidence, as you might imagine.
Can I then ask you, if the people in the left platform who say don't accept this deal, do they then propose an alternative? Do they have another way to do things?
They propose that Syriza should build a plan B, essentially, which Syriza doesn't have up until now, and it doesn't have a plan B because if it did have a plan B, it wouldn't get to power that easily because there are strong forces against a return to national currency inside the media and the oligarchy and Europe, of course. Money is being thrown towards campaigns against national currency.
Okay, well, I in terms of Plan B, I feel personally involved because I essentially wrote about a little bit less than 2 weeks ago. I tried to provide a Plan B, not with the idea that I had decided, that I was saying get out of the euro. No. Stay in the euro and fight, but you have to accept the possibility that you may be forced out. And that possibility is still there, right? Merkel still says there's going to be no haircut, right? And Schäuble is raving. Schäuble is talking in riddles. He's like the Sphinx or the Cumaean Sibyl, right? He doesn't know what he's doing. He should be in the hospital. But you got to be ready. However, if you do have a secret Plan B, that makes you stronger because then you can say to Merkel, look, we are ready to live without you, and therefore why don't you back down Merkel? How about this? Does the Greek press say anything about U.S., France, Italy, and IMF pressuring Merkel?
Yes, of course.
Okay, tell us how they see it.
Reportedly, Obama calls Merkel every night, telling her, what the hell are you doing there?
Obama calls her every night.
Yeah, this is what...
Somehow this doesn't get through here in the U.S.
Yes. And we have France and Italy strong against a Grexit, an exit of Greece from the Eurozone. And the thing is that the whole of the West sees this as a geopolitical issue. It is insane to view this as some kind of an economic or financial matter. It is a geostrategic matter, and Greece is part of the West. Greece is part of Europe. Greece is politically moderate since the Yalta Conference. It's insane to, in effect, throw Greece out of these institutions just for economic issues, for differences of a few peanuts.
Exactly. We had some quotes from the French Prime Minister Valls. You got any quotes from the Italians?
No, but the Italian Prime Minister has been vocal towards Greece. Greece needs help, and Greek society needs help to get out of this crisis.
Okay, Michael, we got to run. Thank you. We'll see you next week, and talk to you soon.